Bar for Bar album reviews. Pop Smoke, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon is the debut posthumous album from Brooklyn rapper Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was unfortunately shot and killed on February 19th, 2020 in LA. Shortly after his death, 50 Cent announced that he would be executive producing this project. And I credit him with the level of polish that we got here. It's hard to say whether or not the finished product is what Pop Smoke was going for or not, but given that there's footage of him in the booth with Quavo and others, I feel that a lot of these tracks were definitely pre-recorded rather than verses that were just scraped together. There's a lot of tracks here, so I'm not going to go and break down each and every track. With that said, it is a long album. It comes in at 19 tracks with a total runtime of 56 minutes. Personally, I feel like there's a lot that we could do without, but I understand why we have so many tracks. The album starts off with the track Bad Bitch from Tokyo, which is a fairly short track, and it flows elegantly into the second track, Aim for the Moon. This intro does a really good job of grabbing the listener, and I honestly wish it was a longer track. The biggest standout line for me here is, I look my killer in his eyes, yeah, I'm talking face to face. This line is haunting since I mentioned he was killed. And it almost feels like he wrote this line after he died. Anyways, like I mentioned, this track flows into the second, Aim for the Moon. The track itself is okay, with my biggest complaint really just being the singing on the chorus. I also wasn't the biggest fan of Quavo's verse, but it doesn't make the track unlistenable. Another thing of note with this project is just that Quavo's all over it. He's on like 6 tracks or something. And that's not a bad thing, it's just an observation. The next track to draw attention to is also the next track on the album, For the Night, which features Lil Baby and Da Baby. I enjoy this track, and I feel that Lil Baby fits the beat really well. But I could also go with or without Da Baby's verse, but I'm just not a big fan of him in general, so. This brings us to the first 3 solo tracks from Pop Smoke on this album, 44 Bulldog, Gangstas, and Yeah Yeah. 44 Bulldog is a solid ass track that's just full of loud and overpowering ad-libs. I almost feel like the ad-libs are meant to be part of the instrumental, like really just add texture and layers to the track. This then goes into Gangstas, which is the first track on the project where I feel that he sounds a lot like 50 Cent. It's also important to note that the intro to this track features an interview from Real 92.3 where, he's throwing shots at 6ix9ine, who 50 Cent has also disowned. It's just interesting that the first track where he sounds like 50 Cent, he has this in the intro. Getting to the track itself though, I really enjoy it. The beat isn't quite what he would normally be rapping on, at least I think. But he sounds good here. The chorus is really solid too. Like, it's just fun saying, I be in New York with the gangstas, This trio then ends with Yeah Yeah, where he really does sound like 50 Cent when he's kind of singing. I have no problem with the singing because it's not bad, or even with the track. The only problem I really have with this is that the vocals, like the additional vocals and the beat, don't really fit him, but whatever. This then brings us to the lead single for the album, Make It Rain, featuring Rowdy Rebel. This track brings us back to more of his typical sound, which I enjoy. It also brings us a jail phone feature from Rowdy. This sort of feature is usually done pretty abruptly, and this one's no different. However, I really enjoyed his verse. Like, it just fit the song so well. It's at this point in the album where I feel like the sound kind of shifts a little bit. The woo brings a different sound, and it's interesting because Pop Smoke is barely even on it. This is one of the few tracks where I feel that he didn't really have this planned out, and it was just like a verse kind of thrown in. Mostly because Pop Smoke's verse is over like a flip of 50 Cent's Candy Shop rather than like the same exact beat that 50 and Roddy Ricch are on. This then brings us to the next track, West Coast Shit, produced by Mustard and featuring Tyga and Quavo. This track's a little weird to me since I would never expect Pop Smoke to be on this type of beat. This beat's also interesting and kind of sounds familiar, but I can't tell if that's because it's a sample or if it's just the keys. I understand the appeal of this track, and Pop Smoke does sound pretty good here, but it's just not for me. This brings us to another stage of the project where we get more of these love type songs. The first of these being Enjoy Yourself, featuring Karol G, who is a Colombian singer. I don't dislike this song, and I won't rush to change it if it comes on, and Karol G provides a great feature. I'm just a little confused because it doesn't sound like a Pop Smoke beat, or like a song that he would really do. It also kind of feels like a Ja Rule and Ashanti song now that I think about it. Like, I feel like if we had another resurgence of that sound, Pop Smoke would do pretty well in it. All I have to say about the track Mood Swings is that it's kind of weird to sing every time I fuck without a rubber, I nutted on the covers. Ignoring that though, it's not a particularly bad track, it just feels a little generic to me. Something Special does a flip of To Me Is So Into You, and I'm totally here for it. He flows over the beat so well, and his singing fits it pretty well too. This then goes into What You Know About Love, which flips Genuine's Differences. And just like the previous track, it's really well done. As the album wraps up, 50 Cent makes sure to remind us why we all love Pop Smoke, and includes one of the hardest tracks here, Got It On Me. This track samples 50 Cent's Many Men, and personally this would have been a great end to the album because it puts us back in the same energy that we entered the album with. Plus the song's been leaked so much that everyone's just been waiting for like the higher quality version of it. The album officially ends with the track Tunnel Vision, and like I said, Got It On Me would have been a better closing in my opinion, but I understand why this is the outro. On one hand, tunnel vision could be referring to the tunnel vision that some people experience when they're dying. The other thing it could be referencing is the line, look, God gave me a lot in some months, but it could go in a second. If I fuck the wrong bitch or walk up in the wrong session. He's basically saying that he has to avoid tunnel vision so he doesn't die. With all this said, I really enjoyed the album. The biggest takeaway for me with this project is that Pop Smoke had so much more to offer us than what we had previously heard. Like, this project shows that he had range that extended just like way beyond just the New York drill sound that he was so well known for. And it really bums me out that we're not gonna hear any more music from him. The tracks that we got towards the end of the project, Enjoy Yourself, Something Special, and What You Know About Love, drive that point home even more. Although these songs may not be for everyone, the fact that he can do these songs and sound good on them is impressive to me. And it brought me back to my younger days where rap features on R&B songs or R&B features on rap songs were much more prevalent. My favorite tracks here are Got It On Me, What You Know About Love, Something Special, The Woo, there's a lot, Gangsta's 44 Bulldog, and Bad Bitch from Tokyo. I really have nothing else to add. Like, this was a really well done album and it exceeded my expectations. I just wish we could have seen where his career would have gone from here. Well, with all that, let me know in the comments below what you thought about this album. And like and subscribe if you want to see more reviews and videos like this. Thank you for watching and stay safe out there.